this forum so you can hear the voices of your constituents and perhaps your future constituents. My name is Allison Noonan. I am the parent of twin fourth grade children. I brought them here this evening so that policymakers can see the faces of the children that are the victims of these reforms. And I use the word victims because their education and their love of learning has been compromised by the implementation of the Common Core standards. The curriculum has narrowed. There is much more remediation, and the concentration on drill to fill has taken away from what should be a much more enriching and developmentally appropriate fourth grade education. When my children come home and say they hate school because of all the stupid tests, policymakers must acknowledge that there is a larger problem than just raising standards. My daughter does not score well on tests. Her teachers consistently say that there is no doubt that her test scores do not truly reflect what and how much she knows. This is probably true, but if teachers are partially measured by how well their students perform on these tests, how much longer will a teacher want a student like my daughter or any other student who does not perform well on tests in their classroom? My son wants to know how he scored on the third grade assessments last year because many of his friends are talking about their scores. I told him that his scores don't matter because these tests are not about him. These tests are about large corporations trying to get their hands on the $900 billion we spend on public education per year. When scores plummet, schools that can afford to do so rush to buy the newest materials. Test makers, publishers, and curriculum writers all make tremendous profit from these chaotic changes. Curriculum developers are making millions of dollars creating scripted modules that, according to some teachers, has taken all the fun out of teaching. Pearson is the elephant in the room. The last point I would like to make is about my children's privacy. The data provided by school districts to InBloom contains sensitive and highly personal information. Some of this data might even contain information about my daughter's medical records. This information has the potential for breach, abuse, and access without parental consent. The Family Education Rights and Privacy Act states that school districts, not states, have contractual control over the use of private student data. New York State's contract with InBloom violates FERPA requirements. I commend David Gamberg, superintendent of Southold Schools, and hope that school boards across New York State will also vigorously protect the academic and privacy interests of their students by following suit and opting out of InBloom. Thank you.